Welcome to the Veterans Growing America podcast. I am here with my illustrious co-host, Donnell Johns, and we have a great guest for you, Mathuel Browne, who is owner of Landmark Kids. And I'm super excited to have you on here, also a Navy guy. And so he's going to share a little bit about his journey in the Navy and his entrepreneurship. So let's get into the business.
Man, so Matthew, first of all, thank you for being on this call. Um, the one thing that we like to do is we want to learn a little bit about you. So can you share a bit of your military background and experience, please, sir?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And thank you both for having me on the call. It's definitely a pleasure to be here with you. So I have been in almost 12 years as a Navy Reservist. I've been in the Navy Reserves as a public affairs officer for 9 of those years. I came in enlisted for 3 years as a logistics specialist as well. I've had an opportunity to do work in Africa. I've had an opportunity to do work at the Pentagon. I've had an opportunity to work up in Rhode Island. So I've had a very interesting and fun career so far. And I'm past the halfway mark too, so I might as well not get off this train now and just enjoy the rest of the ride. But yeah, definitely been a very interesting core so far.
Hey, so you say that your time in the Army, 12 years. I know that there's a lot of influence that happened in between that time. So can you tell me a little bit about that 12 years and how it transitioned into entrepreneurship?
For sure, for sure. So I joined the Navy right after about a few years after doing some traveling. So I did some traveling in South America and I worked. So I've kind of have always had the entrepreneur bug. Always had a way of just kind of like stepping out, taking risk, trying something new. So working in South America, doing an internship when I was in grad school was just one of those ways. But the military, I think, taught me things like systems, taught me things about like planning ahead in a way that I probably was not seeing it in the civilian side at the time. It taught me a way of being able to figure out how to do something right then and there. Like as a public affairs officer, you could call my name, say PAO, and I have to pivot really, really fast. So that translates perfectly when it comes to entrepreneurship. So being able to pivot, being able to craft a message that resonates with your audience, being able to do public speaking, all these different things were either brought in and reinforced from the military or added on. I had to go to Dinfos in Fort Meade and being able to like do public speaking and being able to like craft a message that's really, really effective and tight. I can only give credit to Uncle Sam for that.
I love that. I love that. You know, when you start a business, some people, just start a business to make money. Some people start business for several different reasons. What inspired you to start your own business?
mm, mission. So when I've had opportunity to travel and then being exposed through the military, you meet so many different people, so many different backgrounds. And then you come and you meet kids who are so excited to just leave their city or their county. They don't have any exposure. They don't really know the broader world around them. And that right there really, really got to me. And it was like, how can I help these kids understand that the world is way bigger than your county, way bigger than your state? Um, and because of that, and because the military especially has a mission focused, I just transfer that mission to kids. How can I help kids? How can I really get them to become the leaders of tomorrow and be their fullest potential? And the fullest potential is through exposure. And I've had this quote, exposure opens doors, and you have to know it exists to be able to go get it. And if kids don't get that, then they're going to stifle their growth. And so that's my mission. And I can only count the military and other key aspects of my life that like keeps me focused like that.
No, that's solid. So that means we can really get into the business. So tell me a little bit about Landmark Kids and its unique proposition and what it is that you do for the kids.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So like we said, we're almost like Carmen Sandiego in a box. So the cool thing about us is we're a mystery in a box. We take kids every single month to a new country around the world, and they get a chance to solve this mystery. And oh yeah, by the way, they learn something too. So the cool thing is we're like fun first, education second. Even though they're married, we want to make sure that kids are having fun because not every kid sees education as fun. So okay, cool, have fun first, and then education second. But our long-term goal is to become more than just a subscription box. We are working to become a multimedia company. So we are bringing out, rolling out videos. We have a book coming out later part of the year. We also, as well, want to make sure that kids can even do interaction. So we're really entertaining and working and studying with a company recently to do virtual reality at some point too.
I love that about your business. It just reminds me of when I was a kid and um, I went to this museum, and you couldn't have told me when I was a kid that I didn't go see the Sistine Chapel because I saw it and I read about it and all of this type of stuff. And I didn't realize that I hadn't been to Rome. I thought I had been to Rome when I was a kid. And so I totally understand what you're doing and your mission behind, just taking kids to a different place. But let's talk about what challenges did you face in juggling, or are you facing in juggling your military experience and your business at the same time?
Mm.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So reserve work is always a juggle. So if I've always had the conversation with those who've been active duty. They're like, oh yeah, like one thing you just do. This is your job. When you're a reservist, you literally put one hat on and you take that off and you put another hat on. So being a reservist and juggling business is like both of them are very demanding. One of which is like, okay, I gotta take care of business. I gotta make phone calls. I gotta do sales calls. I gotta do marketing, whatever the case may be. But then the Navy calls and goes, hey, no, I need you to become an officer again, become the manage this unit, do this department, make sure that these people are squared away, chase this person down. So I think the juggle in and of itself is an art form and being able to do that well. And then also not everyone understands one or the other. So sometimes on a Navy side, everybody understand that you're a business owner and you have a lot of juggling. In other ways, you might be on the civilian side and people don't understand what you have to do in the Navy. So I think it's always being able to translate that and how people understand that each one is a priority. Each one I focus on very specifically, but I've also had to be very clear on when one boundary starts, one boundary stops to be effective at both.
No, that's really good. So, like in having that level of experience, can you kind of give us or the listeners some key lessons learned um, while juggling
Mm,
entrepreneurship and being in the service?
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I love that question. So I think one key thing is really blocking off time. So I think that right there, for those who are really effective at time, this might not be new, but for those of us who are still working and managing time, if you block off time and say, okay, this is my Navy time, this is my work time, this is my family time, and you try to make sure that things have boundaries, then usually everybody stays happy. But once you start to let things roll over into each other, that's kind of when it becomes a little more of a juggle. But understand that all three of them, um, as I heard someone say in a book, it's almost like a Frankenstein. They're all monsters. They all want time. They all need. So I think it's being very, very clear with your boundaries and being very, very clear on how you can maximize the amount of effort that you do and get as much stuff done in that time frame. I think it's been very effective in being able to manage it all.
So here's a great question. I know it's a great question because it's coming from me.
Ah!
So talk to me about your plans and your goals for your business, and then also you said you at the beginning that you had planned on staying, in the reserves for the long haul. So talk about your business goals and how that
Okay.
would fit into your military.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So I can start with the military first, since I'm talking to a military audience. One of the key things that I think has been really beneficial is really just staying focused, getting the right people, always being around the right people, so that way I can make very clear goals, and then I can push towards those goals, and so that way there's purpose on that side. it's productive, it's moving forward. So unless something changes, I'm just steady moving forward. And as 12 years is about to, hit in August, time's moving really, really fast. On the business side, we talked about we want to get into multimedia, but ultimately we want Landmark Kids to be a franchise. So we're working very strategically right now to figure out how to connect with a broader audience, how to really resonate. We're working to see how we could work with partners both here and abroad. We're also looking to see as well what we can do to really help Gen Alpha, like not always be on a screen per se, or not always be off a screen, but how can we help them to explore, really connect with them? They're people with causes. This is the generation that has a cause and they really want to, advocate for things. So how can we do it in such a way that we equip them to become leaders of tomorrow? So we're testing a lot of things. We're really working with a lot, trying to find the right partners. But we're super excited. So hopefully sooner than later you'll see it come out more overtly. But we want this to be the ecosystem. This ecosystem is you touch every single thing, and you're a secret agent, and this secret agent's on a mission to save the world.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I was just thinking about like your unique proposition of your business and then what you do as a PAO. How have you let your experience as a PAO bleed into your business, and what are some of the aspects that you use in that part of the business?
Mm. So I recently have launched Mystery Mondays on our YouTube channel. So that's one thing. So maximizing the public speaking and just saying, hey, we're storytellers. Public affairs is one of the key things that we do. So how can I talk to our audience? And so we're creating content that allows for kids to be able to do a mystery live um, each Monday, and then the opportunity for them to jump around to different parts of a certain region. So this today was Asia, for example. So you get a chance to jump to different countries in Asia and learn topically about those places, and then have a place to go do a rabbit hole, Wikipedia, whatever the case may be, and learn more about it. We also as well are looking to see like how to make things even more engaging. So that's the challenge of a PAO. Like, how do you talk to your audience? How do you do it in such a way that resonates? Because if I say something and it doesn't resonate with you, then ultimately it fell flat. And if it falls flat, then I'm not doing my job effectively. And so how could I help move the needle in that case? And so that's what we're trying to do as well for our business, to keep finding ways to talk to our audience, really get them engaged. We have people who have been with us for almost 15, 16 months. So like we have die-hard fans. And so we're looking to see how we can keep multiplying that. And before you know it, we'll be in every home.
I love that because you said we will be in every home, and um, that's one of the things that we want to make sure that what we do at VGA is building that family of entrepreneurs, so their products, their dreams can be in every home. So talk to us a little bit about your experience with Veterans Growing America and uh, how America can take part in the stuff that you've been a part of.
For sure, for sure. So it's been twofold. So it's been a give and take with Veterans Growing America. So the give has been an opportunity for me to kind of share some of my public affairs as well as my experience doing marketing for our business for those who have a smaller business or comparable. And then the other hand as well, it's been a great opportunity to just so much resources through Veterans Grow America, how to effectively, for funding, for partnerships, for getting yourself, utilized and categorized as a veteran-owned company, different resources that have constantly been shared back and forth. So it's been a great relationship, and I cannot recommend it enough. So you heard it from me.
Let's grow.
Hey, so Matthew, can you tell the audience how can they get a hold of your products and how can they get on the subscription box list?
Oh, for sure, for sure. So we try to keep things simple around here. You can find us at the Landmark Kids on either Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also find us as well at www.thelandmarkkids.com. That's our main website. And it's also a great opportunity as well to be able to learn more about what we're doing. And then you can reach us at support@landmarkkids.com if you have any questions.
Hey, that's amazing. Hey, so Don, I'm gonna close us out. But before I do that, can you tell people how they can support Veterans Growing America?
Absolutely. So those of you that are watching in YouTube land or on any of our platforms, the first thing that you need to do is go to veteransgrowingamerica.com and become a member of our platform. Number two, follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're at Veterans Growing America on all platforms with the exception of X, where Veterans Growing, it wasn't long enough, so we couldn't put the whole thing on there. And in addition to that, shop veteran and military spouse small businesses. You'll be able to find those individuals on our website or also on our social media platforms. And then like, subscribe, all of that as well. And so you know what they got to do when they come see us though. All they got to do is
Shop,
"Shop,
baby.
baby."
Hey, Mathuel, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, brother man.
Oh, likewise. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. And we are over and out.